I just feel that the most important thing that I learned was about God's love. That is, it overcomes everything, and it is the greatest love that we can experience. It's greater than any other thing that exists in the world. And we saw that through Samaritan service and care for us.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Ground with Samaritan's Purse, where we take you to the front lines and behind the scenes of our work around the world. I'm your host, Christy Graham, and I love this opening quote that you just heard from a parent that came to our Samaritan's Purse clinic in Colombia. They were able to access medical care for their baby, but more importantly, hear the gospel of Jesus Christ, and they learned about God's love, and it has changed their lives. I can't imagine parenting without knowing the love of God and the power of the gospel. As a mom of 4, I know the challenges and blessings of being a parent. It is truly the most humbling and joyful experiences I've ever had. Yet, it is challenging and difficult and demanding responsibility. And I'm constantly discouraged and feeling inadequate, but I'm so thankful for the guidance and wisdom from God. Being a parent isn't easy. You have little control, and there's constantly new milestones, sicknesses, and surprises that come every day. And parenting is even more difficult if you don't have access to healthcare or the resources that you need in your home country. And this is the case in Venezuela. The country is in crisis, and their currency is almost worthless. And the only hope for these families is to cross the border into neighboring country like Colombia for necessities or even healthcare, because it's extremely expensive in Venezuela. And just a few miles from the Colombia-Venezuela border, Samaritan's Purse established a maternal-child health clinic. This clinic provides ultrasounds and malnutrition screenings, and it's filling the gaps to giving moms peace of mind that they're doing everything they can to take care of their child. Expectant mothers and new moms are willing to travel for hours to receive care. One of our podcast correspondents, Kaitlyn, was able to travel to this clinic and speak with families about how this care has impacted them. And at every appointment, these moms hear the gospel. Here's Kaitlyn sharing about Venezuela and why this clinic is so important.
Without crossing the border to the Samaritan's Purse Health Clinic, where we're taking care of pregnant moms and newborns, these moms would have no access to getting that type of medical care. It was so interesting. Some of the families that I talked to, they had given birth to babies before the economy crumbled in Venezuela. So they knew what it was like to give birth and have regular doctor's appointments and prenatal vitamins. And then they have their second or their third baby without access to that. And they just express such a feeling of inadequacy and feeling like I'm not taking care of my baby the way I want to or need to, or the way I took care of their older sibling.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. So talk to me about these moms, because I know you got to know many of them. And again, having had children before, I can't even put myself in their shoes, but I do know it's scary. You know, every time you go to an ultrasound or to hear the heartbeat or, you know, is everything okay? How are things going? And I know for me, I enjoyed those frequent appointments. So some of these moms, I imagine, haven't had health care, maybe their whole pregnancy, or I don't know when they found out about the clinic. So I guess, how do people find out about the clinic?
So most of the moms find out about it through word of mouth. I would ask each of them, how did you find out Samaritan's Purse had this clinic here? And every single one said, oh, my friend or my neighbor or my older sister had a baby. So it's just spreading by word of mouth. And once they're established as a patient, the moms come once a month. If everything is normal, they're not high risk, there's no concerns. And then if they need to come more often, they would typically come probably twice a month. In different projects at Samaritan's Purse, sometimes our touch point is only once. But then sometimes a project like this, our touch point is every single month and even the month after the baby is born. So they really build relationship with these women and are able to sow seeds for the gospel, not just once, but time after time that they keep coming back for their appointments. A lot of the moms who come struggle with food insecurity. So about 60% of the moms that are cared for there have food insecurity, which just means they're not able to access food on a regular basis as much as they need. So we're able to connect them to other Samaritan's Purse projects to help with providing food, or our cash assistance program to allow them to purchase their own food that they need. So that's happening kind of in collaboration with our maternal-child health clinic. And then out of the whole, about 40% are malnourished, so their babies aren't growing at the rate that they should be. And then we're able to meet that need as well with nutrition care and taking care of these moms and in turn taking care of their babies.
As you're talking, I'm just thinking about, how close I got with either my doctor or my nurse, my team, because you're right, you come in so frequently. And I love that, so much discipleship can happen and really, checking in on how are you doing. I know this is a ministry where we can get to know them really well. And as you said, word of mouth, people are hearing about it. More and more people are coming, and many are coming from far away. And I can't imagine traveling really far for an appointment pregnant. Tell me about these moms and maybe some of the hardships and hurdles that they had to get through just to get to this clinic.
Yeah, you say that of how hard it would be to travel pregnant. And I asked one of the moms that, and she was like, yes, it is so uncomfortable to ride this bus for hours and then take a motorcycle taxi for hours and just the struggle to get there. But she was like, I would do anything for my baby. And I think so many people here listening to this, you can relate to the fact that like you as a mom would do anything for your kids. And she was like, yes, it's a sacrifice, but it's nothing. Like I would do it as much as needed to make sure my baby is taken care of and I'm doing the best I can as a mom. So I think I just saw that they'll do anything for their kids, whatever. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard, but the alternative is not getting care.
So can you introduce us to some of these families? Some of these moms, maybe share what stuck out to you.
One family that sticks out to me is Malia, and she was there with her husband and her newborn. So immediately they stuck out as they were back for their checkup with their baby just a few weeks after he had been born. And I think they were in a unique situation where he was able to attend the appointments, but he was also worried about his wife traveling across the border, depending on when and where they cross. It can be dangerous at times. So he was like, I always wanted to come with her because I didn't want her to make this dangerous journey on her own.
2 hours is a long way to travel every time you have an appointment when you are pregnant. Tell me what that journey was like for you as a mom.
Bueno, pues en el embarazo era un poquito fuerte por los síntomas y el cansancio ya.
It was a little bit hard when I was in the middle of the pregnancy because of the symptoms, but we would make that sacrifice because here we would get like the help that we needed at the time.
I bet you would do anything in the world to make sure your baby had the best health and the best chance at life.
So yes, that's what it's all about. That's why we make this sacrifice to come here, and we do everything we do to get here because we want the best for our baby, and we are just so deeply grateful with Samaritan's Purse because we receive this care that every person or every human being should receive, and we as Venezuelans feel like very blessed, and we are very thankful for that.
So it's not just the length of the journey that is so trying and hard on these moms, but a lot of times it can be dangerous for them as well to cross the border. But Malia was pregnant with her third, and during her first pregnancy, they were unaffected by the crisis in Venezuela. So they went to the doctor, they had access to what they needed. And then for her second baby, they were unable to access it. They were barely putting enough food on the table for their kids. So they couldn't access healthcare. They didn't know about the Samaritan's Purse clinic at the time. And then for her third pregnancy, the one that I got to meet, her little baby boy, they found the Samaritan's Purse clinic, heard about it from a friend, and she just expressed how relieved she was to be able to access the healthcare. And how she just felt the fear and stress go away knowing, okay, she's had an ultrasound. She's taking the vitamins, which Samaritan's Purse gave to them, and she's taking care of her baby.
How did the medical team and the counselor, how did they take care of you? How did they make you feel?
Muy bien, muy bien. Son muy amables.
Yeah, they cared really well for me, and they were all the time caring for my health and my baby's health. So we received excellent service and attention and care here.
How did that make you feel as a mom to know you had what you needed to take good care of your baby?
No, pues muy bien y feliz porque
Yes, I
pues, esa
felt
es
like
una
very happy and full of joy because as a mother, you always worry about these kind of things, and I was just really happy to know that I was receiving this care and this service, and I'm just deeply grateful for that.
And how about you as a dad? How did it make you feel to know your wife and your baby soon to be born were getting the care?
De verdad, muy tranquilo.
I felt just like relieved, and I had peace in me knowing that we were receiving such good healthcare and such good service that was bringing true like well-being to our lives, knowing that we were receiving such help and that God truly may bless everybody here because they have treated us so well.
During each visit, they would meet with our chaplain at the clinic, and he would share about God's love and the gospel. Our team just kept planting seeds and loving them well along the way. And when they brought their newborn baby back for his first checkup, everything clicked. This couple both accepted Christ as their Savior.
So I heard from the chaplain that while you were here, you accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior. Tell me about what made you want to do that.
Yes, we actually had a very meaningful experience when Juan Jose, the chaplain, actually prayed for us, and we were able to experience God's love. And we became like conscious of God's love for our lives, and it just changes, like deeply changes and moved us. So there were tears, and it was like very emotional. And even yesterday when we had the opportunity to meet with him again, he prayed for us, and it was just like something that changed our lives to get to know God in this way. So we are very grateful because we believe that Samaritan's Purse does like a very good work in planting the seed in the hearts of the people, and that's what happened with us.
And then they named their son Lucas, which means light. And they talked about just the light he had brought to their home and to their family because it was through his pregnancy and birth that they found the light of Christ. So I just loved getting to talk to them, and they were filled with joy and just laughing, and you could tell the chaplain was like their best friend, and they were making jokes, and he prayed for them while I was there. And it was just such a sweet time to see the fruit of that ongoing ministry of loving on these families, visit after visit, and then with a newborn, accepting Christ. And yeah, like I said, they have 2 older kids. So they were like, okay, now we're going to raise our kids to know God's love.
I just feel that the most important thing that I learned was about God's love. That is, it overcomes everything, and it is the greatest love that we can experience. It's greater than any other thing that exists in the world. And we saw that through Samaritan service and care for us. We were able to experience that love from God, and we have now the testimony here, which is Lucas's life.
How do you think now knowing God's love will make you a better dad and a better mom for Lucas?
So yes, now we will be able to raise Lucas in God's love. This is the most important thing for us now. And we were able also to see that there is nothing impossible to God.
Wow, I love this. And yeah, as you were talking, I could think back to, having a baby. It's the best gift the Lord can give to a family, but it is scary. And I remember after having one of them, they had a hard time nursing and weren't gaining weight. And I was just so nervous as a mom. And I went to a lactation consultant, but I could go to the, every week to this little group. And I can remember community and, just that discipleship I'm trying to think of these families, and as you said, they already had food insecurity, and I'm sure that just compounds the worry and the guilt and the burden. And yeah, like you said, for their future, it's going to change the trajectory of their life. So this clinic, I mean, obviously we know it's important, but we're seeing it's not just physically important, it's spiritually important, and it's changing lives. I love how our chaplains pour into these mothers during every appointment at the clinic. God is using the clinic to provide a practical need of maternal care, but more than that, a spiritual need. And I just love being able to introduce these women in their stories. They're incredibly brave. And I kept thinking about how I would feel if I were in their shoes. And I asked Kaitlyn to share another story with me. I know there was a woman named Jalen that you got very close with and you got to know her story. Can you tell us about her?
Yeah, so Jalen was very young. She was only 25, and she was pregnant with her third baby. And she had a C-section with her second baby. So that made this pregnancy more high risk. She needed a higher level of medical care. So when she found out about the Samaritan's Purse Clinic, again, she was just so relieved and just felt unburdened and a sense of peace coming to the clinic to know she now had access to the care that she needed.
No, pues me he sentido súper tranquila porque antes...
So this time now I feel extremely relieved because now I don't have to worry like at other time that maybe you would worry about what am I gonna do, how am I going to get the healthcare that I need, the vitamins I need. Now I don't worry about those things.
She could have the ultrasounds. She could have conversations with a doctor and see if anything was wrong or what was happening with the pregnancy. So she, just found great peace in the clinic, and will also refer them and in some cases even pay for further care outside of the clinic. So if they needed to go into a larger city for further care, to go to the hospital and receive maternal care outside of what we provide at the clinic, which was the case for her. So she was just filled with joy that she had access to what she needed. She told me she felt like she was failing as a mom before the Samaritan's Purse Clinic because they were hardly putting enough food on the table for her two other kids and she and her husband, but just finding peace at the clinic. She was already a believer, but she told me, I just struggle with so much fear and anxiety about this pregnancy, about our lives, about being a mom. And then she said, but every time I come here, when I hear them share scripture and I hear them talk about God, I just feel like the scriptures are speaking directly to my heart. It's like God is speaking directly to me every time I come here, and I just feel a sense of peace. And I think how often do we as believers, yes, we trust God, but then you still have that struggle of worry and anxiety and fear. But then it's God's word that we can cling to of God is faithful. We can trust him with our lives even when things don't make sense at the surface level. So she just found that peace there and really just felt God speaking to her through the clinic.
I know she's heard the gospel multiple times through sitting in the waiting room and meeting with the chaplain and the lactation classes. Has she learned anything new through that?
So yes, it has made a difference in my life because I come from far away to get to this place and receive the help. And when I'm in the waiting room and I'm in the devotions, I feel like the word is speaking directly to me, to what I feel. Because sometimes I feel fear when I have to cross the border and there are the guards. I feel fear, but the word comes to me, to my life, talks to me, to my life, and it just fills me. And yes, it gets to my heart.
What have you learned about God that has maybe encouraged you the most?
That he is all the time with us and we will be able to overcome any situation, no matter how hard it is, because he is with us and we have him.
Every visit, obviously, and I know you hearing the heartbeat, getting an ultrasound, I mean, that is huge. But are there tangible gifts that we get that the moms get to take home?
Yeah, absolutely. So when they're nearing the end of their 9 months and they're about ready to give birth, we give them a baby kit, which is essentially like a diaper bag. They're cute. They're pink. They say Samaritan's Purse on them, and they're stocked with diapers and wipes and all sorts of things that you would need for a newborn. And it's just, it's a small kit. It's not like this is going to last them months and months once their baby is born, but it's something tangible to remind them when that baby comes, you are equipped to take care of them. In it is also a onesie. So a lot of the moms can't afford new baby clothes for their baby. It was so sweet seeing them open the baby kits, and they're so excited to pull out like a cute little pink onesie or a little blue onesie. And they're just like oohing and eyeing like any mom would of like, oh, this is so cute and so tiny.
So I was really happy when I received it because I was not expecting that. I received it by the end of a course that Samaritan's Purse carries on or has for new mothers so that they can be prepared before giving birth. And it was just such a blessing because there were so many things there like diapers and whatnot that was just something that we needed. So I was really happy about it.
So just sweet to watch that. They're always surprised by it. They don't know it's coming. So they're like, we've been coming here for, 9, 10, 11 visits. And then they receive this diaper bag, baby kit that's packed and ready to go. And Jalen, actually, she was just thrilled to receive it. Her second baby, they didn't have money to buy a new outfit for them. As a mom, she really wanted to put her baby in an outfit, the first outfit just for that newborn. And she told me that culturally, they really believe like what you give your baby when they're born and what you have for them is significant in what you'll be able to provide as a parent for their entire life. So for her, it was okay, I can provide for them at the beginning, and now I feel peace that I'll be able to continue providing and being a good parent for years to come. So the baby kit, the health care, I just heard so many moms express how it allowed them to shift their focus from the worry and anxiety and the right now to dreaming about the future and thinking not just will I be able to deliver this baby safely, but I wonder what color my baby's eyes will be. I wonder if he'll look more like his dad or his mom. And just sweet things of less fear and worry in the present and more dreaming and hoping for their kids' futures.
I guess having been there, having walked through it, I can hear all these stories and think about what to pray. And like I said, as a mom, I know just the burdens, and I'm so thankful they shared their burdens with you and felt safe to do that. How, I guess, would you ask us to pray?
Yeah, I think pray for the moms that they would have peace in their pregnancy and that they would, through it and through coming to the clinic and hearing the gospel and meeting with the chaplain, that ultimately they would come to know Christ in a personal way. That they would really just be able to see God's hand in their own life, even though that doesn't necessarily look neat and tidy of this perfect life, but that they would be able to just experience God's love in a really tangible way. I think of the mom who said, she just learned that God's love is unfailing and that it's God's love is what they can rely on. So I just pray for more moms to experience God's love.
I loved getting to hear directly from these moms' hearts. The relief that this clinic and care is providing is truly life-changing. Not only can these families get the medical care, nutrition, and physical help, but they have found eternal hope in Jesus Christ. They can rely on Him in their lives. And unfortunately, we can't take away all the hardships and burdens that they will face. But we can introduce them to the one who will be with them and loves them unconditionally. They get to know the Good Shepherd, who in Psalms 23 says, leads them beside quiet waters and renews their life. It's such a gift and a joy to see these parents come to know Christ and have this saving knowledge to walk with them. I hope that you'll continue to remember these moms and families in prayer. And as we celebrate Mother's Day, I know that their stories will encourage you to love the mothers in your life and thank them for all that they do. I want to share Isaiah 66:13. It says, "As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you, and you will be comforted over Jerusalem." Just as we saw these mothers do, they give tangible examples of love and sacrifice. Many risk their lives and they've traveled miles for the health and safety of their baby. Mothers truly will do anything for their children, and they want what is best for them. But as we see in this verse in Isaiah, just as a mother comforts her child, God will comfort us. He loves us so much more, unconditionally. And this example from mothers, it shows us the love of the Father who comforts and protects us as his children. And if you don't know the love of the Father, I encourage you, especially this Mother's Day, to get to know the one, as I said in Psalm 23, the Good Shepherd, who loves and protects and guides us. Thank you so much for listening this week, and I hope you have a happy Mother's Day.